In the heart of a vibrant city, there lived a young woman named Amanda. She was 22 years old and had lived her entire life surrounded by wealth and luxury. Her family was one of the richest in the country, and her father, Chief Dixon, was a well-known business tycoon and political figure. At 58, Chief Dixon controlled vast industries, owned several estates, and had connections that could make or break anyone in the country. His family's wealth was unmatched, and he made sure that his children, especially Amanda, never experienced anything less than the finest. Amanda grew up in a world where gold-plated furnitures, designer clothes, private jets, and first-class travels were just part of her everyday routine. She went to the best schools and had everything she could ever dream of. But despite all the riches, something felt off. Something that Amanda couldn't put her finger on. But the unease began to grow over the years. Amanda was the only daughter in the family with two older brothers. Her father always showered her with affection, and everyone in the family knew she was his favorite. But recently, she began to notice a change in his behavior, a deeper and almost unsettling attachment to her. One evening, after an extravagant family dinner at their mansion, Chief Dixon called Amanda to his private study. He looked serious, and his expression was colder than usual. Amanda, curious, followed him into the room. "Daddy, what's wrong?" she asked, taking a seat across from him. His eyes, usually warm and commanding, now seemed distant and heavy. "My dear, you've always been the center of my world, haven't you?" he began, his voice waveringly slightly. "You know, the life we live, all the money, the cars, the private jets, it all comes with a price." Amanda frowned. "What do you mean, Daddy? You've worked so hard for everything we have. We deserve all of it." Chief Dixon leaned back in his chair, folding his hands. "There are things I've never told you about how we became so rich. Things that have kept this family at the top." He paused, as if considering whether to continue, before he finally spoke again. "I'm part of a brotherhood that grants immense wealth and power to those who prove worthy. They demand sacrifices, great ones." Amanda looked at him in confusion. "Sacrifices? What do you mean, Daddy?" Her father sighed heavily. His voice was trembling as he spoke. "The time has come for you, my daughter, to fulfill your part in this pact. The group demands that you help me. They've chosen you because you are my only daughter." Amanda's heart pounded in her chest as she tried to process his words. "What do you want me to do, Daddy?" she asked, almost afraid of the answer. Chief Dixon stood up, walking over to the window and looking out at the sprawling estates. "The prizes, it's something no one would ever guess. You must bear my child, Amanda. Only then will our family's wealth and power remain intact. If you refuse, I will lose everything, including my life." Amanda stood up, frozen in shock. The room felt like it was spinning. Her father, her protector, her hero, was asking to have a child with him. The thought was so horrifying that she almost didn't believe it. But his eyes, filled with desperation, told her he was serious. "No," she said, shaking her head. "No, this can't be real. You are my father. This is wrong." "I know it's difficult, but this is the only way," he said, almost pleading with her. "If you love me, if you love the life we have, you will understand. If you refuse, you will destroy everything, including me." Amanda's mind raced. The idea of losing everything, the wealth, the luxury, the endless opportunities were unbearable. And yet, the thought of what her father was asking felt like the worst kind of betrayal. But as the days passed, the pressure grew. She saw the fear in her father's eyes every time they spoke about it. She knew he wasn't lying. The society was powerful, and they had always made sure the family's wealth remained untouched. Finally, Amanda made a choice. She chose the life she knew, the life of luxury, power, and influence. And so, a forbidden bond began between father and daughter. At first, it was awkward, even repulsive. But as the weeks went by, something strange began to happen. Amanda found herself craving for her father's touch. She started to go to him every night in secret. She sought him out. She began to feel a strange kind of intimacy, a pull that she could not understand. She would sneak to her father's room, lay on his bed, and father and daughter would have intimacy with each other. They enjoyed every bit of it. Amanda found herself entangled in so much intimacy with her own father. This father and daughter enjoyed every bit of the pleasure that comes with intimacy. Whenever Amanda is on the bed with her father, she mourned with so much pleasure. "Oh, Daddy, this is nice. I like it. Go deeper, go harder," forgetting that the man on the bed is her biological father. They had so much pleasure every night, entangled with deep intimacy, sharing their body and touches. It wasn't just about the wealth anymore. It was about something deeper, something darker. She was becoming more and more entangled in her father's world. They began to meet in secret, and with each passing day, Amanda's attachment to him grew stronger. Her thoughts became consumed with their secret life, and soon, the line between daughter and lover blurred. Months later, Amanda discovered she was pregnant. It shocked her, but at the same time, she felt a twisted sense of relief. She could tell no one the truth, of course. To the outside world, the story was simple. She had a boyfriend from university who had disappeared after leaving her pregnant. No one questioned it, not even her family. The child, a boy named Richie, was born in secret. He grew up in the family home, but no one knew the truth of his parentage. To everyone, Chief Dixon was simply a loving grandfather. But to Amanda, he was both father and lover, and the weight of the secret grew heavier with each passing day. But as Richie grew older, Amanda began to question everything. She couldn't ignore the truth any longer. She had been living a lie, and she was suffocating. She wanted to escape. She wanted a normal life, to find someone to love and raise a family of her own. But every time she thought about stopping, she saw her father's face, heard his voice telling her that if she left, they would lose everything. The guilt and fear kept her trapped. But deep down, Amanda knew that continuing the relationship would destroy her. It would destroy her mind, her soul, and her future. She made a decision. She had to leave. The day she finally told her father she wanted out was the hardest day of her life. She sat across from him in the study, looking into his eyes for the last time. "Daddy," she said, "I can't do this anymore. I love you, but this isn't right. I want to live a normal life. I want to be free." Chief Dixon's face darkened with anger. "You can't leave me. Amanda, you will destroy everything we've worked for. Do you understand what you are asking? Do you know the consequences?" Amanda took a deep breath, tears streaming down her face. "I know, but I can't continue this anymore. I don't care about the wealth, the power. I just want a chance at a real life." The decision was made. Amanda left her father's house that night. She left behind everything: her family's fortune, her luxurious lifestyle, and the dangerous bond with her father. It was the hardest thing she had ever done, but in the end, it was the right thing to do. After Amanda left, everything began to unravel. Chief Dixon lost his place in the society. The contracts, the connections, and the deals that had once seemed unshakable began to fall apart. The businesses collapsed one by one, and the once powerful family's wealth vanished. Chief Dixon became a shadow of the man he once was, and Amanda's brothers struggled so hard to rebuild what they had lost. But despite the loss of their wealth, Amanda found peace. She went on to live a simpler, happier life, finding love with a kind man who accepted her for who she was. She raised Richie with honesty, telling him the truth about his grandfather, but teaching him the values of love, trust, and integrity. And that is how the story of Amanda, the dear daughter who got pregnant for her own father, ended. The moral of this story is simple. Wealth, power, and luxury may come with great temptations, but they can also trap us in unhealthy, destructive situations. No amount of material wealth is worth sacrificing our morals, our values, and our happiness. True freedom comes from making the right choices, even when it's difficult, and embracing a life of honesty, integrity, and love. Thank you so much for listening to my story. And please, if you haven't subscribed, kindly click on the subscribe button, turn on the notifications so when I post more interesting stories, you'll be the first to get them. I do not take your support for granted. And if you are a returning subscriber, hey, thank you so much for your consistent support. I do not take your support for granted. You know you are the real MVP. Thank you. See you in my next video. Bye-bye.